Sheriff Ed Tom Bell has seen it all, from the dusty trails of his youth to the modern highways that crisscross West Texas. He has been a silent witness to the passage of time. Each wrinkle on his weathered face tells a story, each gray hair a testament to the countless nights spent in pursuit of justice. Years of patrolling the desolate landscapes of West Texas have hardened him. The vast, empty expanses of land where the horizon seems to stretch into infinity have become a second home to him. He knows every rock, every cactus, every hidden trail that snakes through the arid terrain. The desert, with its harsh beauty and unforgiving nature, has shaped him into the man he is today. He has witnessed the changing face of crime. Gone are the days when a simple theft or a barroom brawl was the extent of his worries. Now he faces a new breed of criminal, one that is more cunning, more ruthless, and far more dangerous. The crimes he encounters are no longer acts of desperation, but calculated moves in a deadly game. It's a new era, one filled with a darkness he struggles to comprehend. The world he once knew, where a man's word was his bond and justice was swift and sure, seems to be slipping away. In its place, a shadowy underworld has emerged, where morality is a relic of the past and survival is the only law. The criminals are ruthless, driven by an insatiable greed. They operate with a cold efficiency, their every move calculated to maximize profit and minimize risk. They are faceless, nameless entities, hidden behind masks and aliases, their true identities known only to themselves. To them, human life is just another commodity to be bought, sold, and discarded as needed. Bell feels out of his depth, a relic of a bygone era. He clings to the old ways, to the belief that justice will prevail and that good will triumph over evil. But with each passing day, that belief is tested and he finds himself questioning everything he once held dear. The world has moved on, leaving him behind, a lone figure standing against the tide of change. The world is changing, and not for the better. The once clear lines between right and wrong have become blurred, obscured by a fog of moral ambiguity. The city, with its towering skyscrapers and bustling streets, is a far cry from the small towns and open plains he once knew. It is a place of shadows and secrets where danger lurks around every corner. Bell feels it in his bones. The weight of his years, the burden of his experiences, all pressed down on him, leaving him weary and worn. He's tired, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. The fight has taken its toll, and he wonders how much longer he can continue. The lines between right and wrong are blurring. In this new world, the old certainties no longer apply. The figure standing between light and shadow is a metaphor for the moral ambiguity that now defines his existence. He is caught in a liminal space, torn between the past and the present, between what he knows to be right and the harsh realities of the world he now inhabits. Violence has become commonplace, a language everyone seems to understand. It is the currency of this new world, a means of communication that transcends words. The hands gripping the weapon are not just those of the criminals he pursues, but his own as well. He has been forced to adopt their methods, to speak their language in order to survive. He grapples with the senseless brutality he encounters daily. Each new crime scene is a fresh wound, a reminder of the darkness that has taken hold. He shakes his head in disbelief, not just at the acts themselves, but at the world that allows them to happen. He is a man out of time, struggling to find his place in a world that no longer makes sense.
Llewelyn Moss is a welder and Vietnam War veteran. He spends his days in the sweltering heat of the workshop, sparks flying as he meticulously welds metal pieces together. The precision and focus required for his job are second nature to him, a skill honed over years of practice and discipline. His life is a routine of hard work and quiet evenings, a stark contrast to the chaos he once knew in Vietnam. On weekends, Moss finds solace in the vast, open desert near the Rio Grande. The desert, with its endless horizons and silent beauty, offers him a sense of peace and freedom. While hunting antelope, he feels a connection to the land, a primal satisfaction in the hunt. But on this particular day, his peaceful routine is shattered. As he tracks an antelope, he stumbles upon a scene of unimaginable carnage. A drug deal has gone horribly wrong. The air is thick with the smell of gunpowder and blood. The ground is littered with the remnants of a violent confrontation. Bullet casings glint in the harsh sunlight, and the silence is deafening, broken only by the distant cry of a bird of prey. Vehicles are riddled with bullets, their windows shattered and doors hanging open. Bodies lie scattered across the desolate landscape, a grim testament to the brutality that unfolded here. The scene is a stark reminder of the dangers that lurk beneath the surface of this seemingly tranquil desert. Amidst the carnage, Moss's eyes are drawn to a briefcase. He approaches it cautiously, his heart pounding in his chest. As he opens it, he is met with the sight of stacks of cash, millions of dollars in unmarked bills. It's a life-changing sum, a chance to escape his ordinary existence and the struggles that come with it. The weight of the money in his hands feels surreal. He counts it, his mind racing with possibilities. This money could change everything. It could provide a new start, a way out of the mundane life he has known for so long. But with this newfound wealth comes a sense of foreboding. He knows that taking the money will not be without consequences. In that moment, Moss makes a fateful decision. He decides to take the money, fully aware that this choice will set off a chain of events that could lead to danger and uncertainty. The allure of a better life is too strong to resist, and he is willing to face whatever comes next. This decision marks the beginning of a journey that will test his resolve, his morality, and his very survival. The desert, once a place of peace, now becomes a battleground where the stakes are life and death. Driven by guilt and a sense of responsibility, Moss returns to the scene. The weight of his actions presses heavily on his shoulders, and he knows that he cannot simply walk away from the chaos he has inadvertently caused. The memory of the dying man haunts him, a constant reminder of the fragility of life and the consequences of his choices. He wants to help a dying man he found earlier. The sight of the man's suffering stirs something deep within Moss, compelling him to act. He knows that time is of the essence and every second counts. As he kneels beside the injured man, he feels a surge of determination to make things right, to offer some semblance of hope in a world that seems increasingly bleak. This decision sets off a chain of events that will forever alter his destiny. He becomes the hunted. The moment he decides to intervene, he unknowingly sets a deadly game into motion. Forces beyond his control begin to close in on him, and the line between hunter and hunted blurs. Moss finds himself in a relentless chase where every move could be his last, and every shadow hides a potential threat.
Meanwhile, Anton Chigurh, a ruthless hitman, is hired to retrieve the money. Chigurh is not just any hitman. He is a predator, cold and calculating, with an almost supernatural ability to track his prey. His reputation precedes him, and those who know of him speak in hushed tones, aware of the deadly precision with which he operates. He is a force of nature, an embodiment of chaos and violence. Chigurh's presence is like a storm, unpredictable and devastating. Wherever he goes, destruction follows, and those who cross his path rarely live to tell the tale. His methods are as varied as they are brutal, and he takes a perverse pleasure in the fear he instills in his victims. His methods are brutal, his resolve unwavering. Chigurh's single-minded focus on his mission makes him a formidable adversary. He is relentless, driven by a code that only he understands. To him, the world is a series of transactions, and life and death are mere commodities to be traded. His pursuit of Moss is not just a job, it is a test of his own principles, a challenge to his own sense of order in a chaotic world. He will stop at nothing to complete his mission. Chigurh's determination is absolute, and he views any obstacle as a mere inconvenience. His pursuit of Moss becomes a deadly game of cat and mouse, with each move bringing them closer to an inevitable confrontation. The stakes are high, and the cost of failure is unimaginable. In this deadly dance, only one can emerge victorious, and the line between hunter and hunted becomes increasingly blurred.
Section 4. The Price of Greed. Sheriff Bell investigates the massacre. He quickly realizes the gravity of the situation. This is not just another drug deal gone wrong. The stakes are higher, the players more dangerous. He feels a sense of foreboding. Bell tries to unravel the mystery. He studies the clues, following the trail of blood and money. He knows he's dealing with something sinister. He's determined to bring those responsible to justice.
Chigurh's pursuit is relentless. He leaves a trail of bodies in his wake. He is a ghost, appearing and disappearing without a trace. His presence is felt everywhere, a constant threat lurking in the shadows.
Moss, desperate to stay one step ahead, becomes increasingly paranoid. He realizes the gravity of his situation. He is in over his head. He knows he must protect himself and his wife, Carla Jean, from the relentless Chigurh.